morning, everyone. Thank you for joining bright and early. It's a great pleasure to have you here today as we have this onboarding session for this CyberSecure Nigeria project implemented by the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture and funded by NetHope. Please, I would invite you to write your names in the chat. Tell us where you're coming from, your location, geographically, and your institution. My name is Modupe Bawu, and I will be moderating this program in collaboration with my colleague who will tell us his name. So over to you, Bolaji.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everybody. My name is Tobi Bolaji, and I'm happy to be here this morning to host this alongside Modupe.
Thank you. So it's a great pleasure to have you. And I can see that we have the names written in the chat. So thank you. Please keep that coming. Very soon we're going to have a small poll. I would just like you to tell us something about yourself. So very soon that will come up, but I will encourage you. Let's have the name, your institution, the city you're calling me from. Thank you.
All right, the poll is up now. If you check your screen, you'll find it there. Just importantly, some ground rules for an effective meeting. Please put aside all distractions so you can have the best of optimized time in today's session. Also, participate fully. Make sure that the next couple of minutes or hours that we're going to spend together is worth the while. If you need to raise questions, if you have inquiries or questions, please use the chat room or the Q&A feature in the meeting. We have people ready there to answer your questions and clarify anything that needs clarification. So please keep dropping in the meeting room, your name, your institution, and please remember to name yourself appropriately in the meeting. If you are having difficulty doing that, just click on your name and you see the rename button there. You're able to name yourself properly. So the format we are using for easy identification will be your title, then your first name, then your last name, and then lastly, in a bracket, put in your institution in short form, of course. Right. You're welcome this morning. Let's keep it coming. We expect so much people to join in the meeting this morning. So let's use this next few seconds or minutes to do this. I'm seeing the poll being answered already. The poll says, what's the biggest threat to your concentration during online meetings? First, power outage. I think that's a common denominator. 2, family interruptions. Yes, many people work from home in recent times. Then WhatsApp notifications, this can constitute a lot of distraction. Poor internet, that can also be a common name. As a matter of fact, that's actually, most people have chosen that. Hunger, 2 people, and then another Zoom meeting. Yes, a number of people choose that too. It's a connected world now. Many things are happening virtually, and we understand that some meetings might clash. So it becomes a clash of interests or clash of priorities. But you're welcome all the same. Please keep it coming. You have just some few seconds to do that before we move to the next item on the agenda. I'll be sharing the poll results shortly. So if you haven't done it yet, please do it. Only 143 people of 200 plus currently in the meeting have answered. So let me give you about 30 more seconds for that before I share the poll results. Mind you, this is just meant to make us settle into the meeting, so please settle in. Feel relaxed. We're going to have a very good time together today. All right. I think I have enough over 60% of participants have responded. Okay, so poor internet leads the way. Yeah, all right. But I believe this morning things are going to go very right. I'm going to have a very, very fruitful and successful meeting. The internet will not constitute an hindrance. Trust me. Yeah, that has already been settled. All right, you're welcome once again. Um, we'll go straight into the meeting this morning, and I have the okay. All right, okay. I think I just shared the meeting for now for those who might be interested in seeing that. All right, so I have the singular pleasure this morning to bring on board to invite the project coordinator for the IT CyberSecure Nigeria project that is sponsored by Netco. The project coordinator, in person of because he prefers to be addressed without titles. In the person of Yinka Fakunde is here with us in the meeting, and when I'm done here, that's the next voice to be hearing. He's also the head of IT and Information Security for the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture. So please join me this morning as I have the pleasure of bringing on Yinka Fakunde for the introduction or welcome remarks from the project coordinator. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Tolu, for that introduction. So let me say a very good morning to everyone, and a very warm welcome to this official onboarding session of the CyberSecure Nigerian project. I mean, it's my genuine pleasure to see so many faces in this virtual room. I could see a lot of people putting on their videos. I mean, representing institutions from various locations across Nigeria and even other African countries that have chosen to be part of something significant. Your presence here, it's not just incidental. I believe it's intentional, and it actually matters a lot. As introduced, my name again is Inka Fakunle. I'm sure many of us on the call would have seen that name in the correspondence a couple of times. So now I think everybody can finally put a face to that name. And like it was mentioned, I have the privilege of serving as the coordinator on this project. Later on in the program today, I will be guiding us through the overview of the CyberSecure Nigerian project and also the training program as a whole. But before we dive into that later on, I would just like to mention a few quick notes here. Okay, so today's session is actually designed to give every partner, every partner institution, a very clear and shared understanding of the CyberSecure Nigerian project. That's its goals, its structure, what to expect, and also what is also expected of us. Okay, so I want everybody to please engage fully. The conversations you would have today will shape how we work together going forward. And of course, I would also like to mention that we have representation from over different 18 partner institutions in today's sessions, universities, research bodies, and NGOs that are spread across Nigeria and also Africa. So that breadth is one of our greatest strengths. And so we would encourage everyone to connect with one another. You are not just a project participant, okay? So you are the nucleus of something that is like a national cyber security community of practice. So please, I want you to hold your questions when we get to the designated question and answer segment, because we want to make sure that every voice has a space to be heard. Okay, that's one of the things that we want to achieve. So Now, on behalf of the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, it's my honor to set the stage for very two important people whose leadership and institutional backing has make this project possible. First, I would like to invite our Deputy Director General for Corporate Services, Mrs. Ilse Cooper-Limburg, to say a few words. And following that, we would also hear from the Director General of IITA, Dr. Simeon Hayes, who will formally welcome all of our partner institutions to this initiative. But let me mention that unfortunately, the DG is on another meeting as we speak. He was actually invited by ECOWAS with some other West African leaders, but he's going to be ably represented here today by the Director of Strategic Planning and Chief of Staff, Dr. Ibno Dieng. And so I know that the DG of IIT has also promised to join us even before we finish. I know his mind is all here with us as we'll speak. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming the DDG Corporate Services of IITA, Miss Hilda Cooper-Limburg. Thank you.
Thank you, Yinka. Can you hear me?
Very well.
Okay, so representatives of partner institutions, members of the project team, colleagues, good morning. It's my pleasure to welcome you all to this official onboarding session of CyberSecurity Nigeria. Today really marks an important step in our shared effort to strengthen cybersecurity across Nigerian educational and research institutions. It is really an important session because cybersecurity is no longer only an ICT issue. It's a leadership issue, it's a governance issue, data protection issue, and so on. Our institutions now depend on digital systems for teaching, research, records, online learning, and collaboration. When these systems are safe, then our institutions function with confidence. When they are attacked or compromised, the consequences can really be serious. The key message is simple. To get cybersecurity Nigeria right, we must get the cybersecurity culture right. Cybersecurity is not only about firewalls, antivirus software. Those are important, of course, but they are not enough. Attackers often enter through loopholes like weak passwords, unpatched systems, careless mouse clicks, unsecured phones, and so on. A firewall, may protect the gate, but a loophole may be the window that has been left open. All of us will therefore have to pay attention to how we use our computers, mobile phones, email accounts, cloud platforms, and the storage devices. A compromised mobile phone can expose official emails, research data, and so on. We have examples from other countries. I'm from the Netherlands. Maastricht University in the Netherlands, they suffered a serious ransomware attack in 2019. The attack really disrupted university operations and showed how phishing emails, missing updates, and weaknesses in access control can combine to create a major crisis. Other universities in the Netherlands also experienced this, and banks all over the world have also faced cyber attacks. Now, these examples, of course, are not mentioned. I'm not mentioning them to create fear. They are mentioned to create awareness. Any institute can suffer from cyber attacks. It's continuous practice to be cyber secure. So in the project, there will be definitely some do's and don'ts that will be promoted. In IITA, the IT Operations Management and Security Unit, they test us, all the staff, with fake phishing emails, and they also provide training on recognizing phishing on regular basis. Staff does not always like it, or sometimes they even find it mean. For example, if the topic is about your salary or it comes from your supervisor. But these tests are necessary, as that is really what real phishing attempts also try to get us with. Cybersecurity must become part of everyday behavior, This project gives us a platform to build the culture of cybersecurity. Let this session set a strong tone for the collaborative work ahead. Protection of data is the protection of people, and the protection of the people is to protect our educational and research institute. It's part of protection of Nigeria's digital future. Once again, warm welcome to all of you. It's good to see so many people here. Thank you, and I wish us all a successful and productive session. Thank you, Yinka.
Thank you very much for those warm messages and for mentioning a couple of examples, Mrs. Copper. Without wasting much time, let me pass the microphone to Dr. Ibn Dieng, who is going to represent on behalf of the DG of IITA. Dr. Dieng, is he on call? We can't hear you yet.
Okay. All right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Good. Good morning. Needed to be unmuted. So thanks a lot, Yinka, and thank you, colleague, for having me here today. Good morning, distinguished partners, friends and colleagues. A lot of good faces I see here. Welcome to this session. So as Yinka said, my name is Ibn Dieng. I am the Director of Strategic Planning and the Chief of Staff to the DG of IITA. I'm based here in Ibadan, Nigeria. So it's my pleasure to be here. So as Insa mentioned, the IITA Director General, Dr. Simon Iwi, regrets not being able to be here personally due to some conflicting agenda. Then I have the honor to deliver this statement on his behalf. So today is not a ceremony. As I understand from what Inka was saying, it's a commitment. You are seeing many people connected here, over 300 people coming from different institutions. So, and dealing with the topic of importance, CyberSecure. So, when we set to build CyberSecure Nigeria, this project, there was a hard question that we asked ourselves. And the question is, what is the cost of doing nothing? So we have seen it every day. So Hilda mentioned some cases in the University of Maastricht in the Netherlands. I have also cases in Senegal, the country I come from, where the Minister of Finance and Economy institution related to the ministers has been attacked the last 6 months to 1 year. So African research institutions and generally African institutions lose irreplaceable data. Every breach erodes the public trust on which science depends. So every unprotected system is a vulnerability that our adversaries, of course not our peers, will exploit first. And we decided that was unacceptable. So IITA has spent over 5 decades now. Next year we are celebrating our 60th anniversary. So generating knowledge that feeds, that protect, and that empower Africa. But knowledge unprotected is knowledge at risk. Our research pipeline, our partners' data, our institutional memory, those are assets that deserve the same rigor we bring to the laboratory. So we have our research, but the knowledge and the data that we generate are equally important. So CyberSecure Nigeria is our answer. And by joining here today, you are part of that answer. 17 institutions, close to 20, I understand, ranging from universities, from research centers, from NGOs, all across Nigeria, have signed on to this journey. This is not a number, but this is a network of resolve. So together with our implementing partners, NetHope, and the collective commitment of every single institution here represented in this room, in this virtual room, I would say, we are building together something that has never existed at this scale in Nigeria. We have more than 300 people connected. So this is amazing. And higher education. So what we want is a living and a breaching culture of cybersecurity that is rooted in local expertise and then sustained by local ownership. Hilda mentioned also in the speech, let's clear about what we are doing here. We are not installing software, doing all those stuffs only. So we are not ticking complex compliance boxes so that is achieved. What we are training here, what we are doing here is training human being people. What we want is strengthening institutions and equipping them. And over the time, turning Nigeria's cybersecure vulnerability into a continental model of cyber resilience. So we want to move forward. So the transformations begin today with all of you. To our partners institutions, we are not your trainers, we are your core architects. The project worked with you, not at you. Your context, your constraints, and your capacities, they shape everything we do together. To the CyberSecure Nigeria team at IITA, the trust placed in us is significant. So let's carry it with excellence. And to everyone in this virtual room, when a student at one of your institutions becomes a certified security practitioner, when the policy gets updated because of what you learn here, when an attack is stopped because someone knew what to look for, that is the return on today. The digital frontier is not waiting. Neither should we. So welcome to CyberSecure Nigeria. Let's go get to work. We are very happy to get embarked on this journey. Welcome and thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Hypno, Dr. Dieng, for those very good warm welcome message to all our partners. Thank you. I will pass the microphone now to the moderator. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Yinka Fakunle. Thank you, Ms. Hilde Cooper and Dr. Dieng. Indeed, protection of data is protection of people, protection of institutions, protection of systems, protection of countries. And as Dr. Dieng rightly said, knowledge unprotected is knowledge at risk. So Andy has told us we are all here as partners, so everyone has a role to play, not only to be learners, but also as co-architects. Thank you very much. Without taking too much time, we are going to recognize head of institutions. We recognize everyone. You are special. Thank you for being here. But we want to specially recognize head of institutions. And we're going to be mentioning just names and the institutions. And this has been done in alphabetical order for the institutions. So from the Adamawa State University, Mobi, Professor Augustine Clements, we recognize you. Thank you. From Abuad Afebabalola University, Ado-Ekiti, Professor Elizabeth Olarinde, you're welcome. We want to recognize Professor Ebuluwa Uduwole from the Ajayi Crowther University. We recognize Professor Haruna Uje Ayuba from Bingham University. It's a pleasure to recognize Professor Jonathan Babalola of Bowen University. And thank you very much, everyone, clapping, recognizing them with me. Appreciate you all. From the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, we recognize Professor Olusola Babatunde Kehinde. From Inkaba Biotech, we recognize Dr. Oliver Pressing, who is the Executive Director and Co-Founder. From Carbon College of Agriculture, we recognize Professor F.A. Anoleri, who is the Provost. We recognize from the Nigerian Agricultural Extension and Research Liaison Services, the Executive Director, in the person of Professor Yusuf Ahmed Sani. And from the National Agricultural Seed Council, the ex-Director General and CEO, we recognize Honorable Fatou Ahmed Buhari. Now I hand over to my co-moderator to recognize other institutions. Thank you.
Thank you, Modupe. I also have the honor and privilege to recognize the Executive Director of the National Horticultural Research Institute, IITA, in person of Professor Atunda Muhammad Lawal. Also, we recognize the Executive Director of the National Root Crops Research Institute, UMDK, Professor Chibuze Ekesi. We also recognize the Executive Director of the Nigeria, Stored Product Research Institute, INSPE, in person of Professor Latif Oladimiji Sani. We recognize the Vice Chancellor of the Obafemi Awolowo University, OAU, in person of Professor Adebayo Senior Bamire. Also, we have the pleasure of recognizing the Vice Chancellor of the Pan Atlantic University, in person of Professor Anase Okunedo. Also, please join me in welcoming Vice Chancellor, the University of Ibadan, Professor Kayode Adibowale. And last but not least, please join me to welcome the Vice Chancellor of the University of Ilorin, Professor Wahab Olashupo Egbewale, Senior Advocate of Movement. Thank you. Thank you. Please keep a welcome coming. We welcome you so much, and we are honored to have you all for this occasion.
Thank you. Indeed, we are very honored and privileged to have you part of this wonderful project, which we know it's about strengthening capacities. So we are glad to have you here. We are glad to have your support. And now we're going to move to the next item, which is to take a good photograph. So I encourage us all to turn on our videos. And my colleague, Sayo Goya, would guide us in taking this. So please turn on your videos, and Sayo, let us know when this has been done. All right. Turn on your videos, have lovely smiles. You good?
You can extend.
Yeah. Okay, so it's ongoing.
Yes, ongoing.
Keep your smiles on. Okay. Shall the pictures have been taken? Hold on the smiles. Take them off. Because you never can tell. So just manage to keep that smile. Anyway, smiling is good. So let's smile more often. It's a large and good symbol.
Yeah.
So, very sorry.
Yeah. Almost done.
Don't be tired. We'll soon be done. Yes. Five.
Almost.
Okay.
So,
Almost done.
yes. See some very positive smiles.
Thank you all for your beautiful smiles. I'm sure Zoom is working on having a greater interface to take more people. So maybe 1,000 people taken at once.
Wow.
Maybe they're getting up.
Mhm.
We're talking about technology. So everything is possible with technology, right?
Yeah.
So we look forward to that. Okay?
Now we are not too feature. We won't have to do the manual,
Indeed.
thing.
Indeed. Good?
Yes. So, that's it.
All right. Thank you very much for your lovely smiles. Thank you for being patient with us. And once again, we say you're welcome. Now, quickly, we're going to have a few leaders of the institution give us goodwill messages, and they have about 2 minutes to give their goodwill messages. So, allow me and join me in welcoming the Vice Chancellor of Afemi Awolowo University, Professor Famire, to give his goodwill message. You're welcome, sir. Please unmute him so that you can give his goodwill message.
Let's go.
Okay, sir, you can go ahead.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Let me appreciate you all. I want to appreciate the Director General of IITA and all the coordinators of this great program. And let me say that again, IITA is moving ahead in this digital world, actually transforming what the knowledge is about agri into the technological world now, making it easy for everybody to do the needful. So I'm really very grateful. IITA had been a source of joy for me. I've had about 30 years of experience, both personally and then in terms of the profession in which I belong. And IITA had actually brought up a lot of leaders, more than myself, and then for me as well now. Let me appreciate IITA again for involving OAU in its numbers. I can count about 60 of our staff virtually present today for this program. And that shows the importance of this program. It's actually an intentional thing, very deliberate, because OAU is actually the Center of Excellence for ICT for now. And we have a lot of things to showcase. We are actually following after IITA with respect to the thought for beauty. And if you go through all universities now, OAU still stands as the most beautiful campus in Africa. So really want to thank you for involving us in this very, very important program. But I want to say that for any program that we want to do now that does not involve the use of the understanding of cybersecurity, it's as if we are not being serious, because we know what it is now in the cyber world. I want to recognize the fact that we have so many other institutions that are present. I recognize my colleague VCs and staff and students and participants from various institutions that are on board now. That this is a serious matter. It's not a matter for joke at all. And I want to advise that we all pay serious attention to whatever is to be learned at this forum. Dr. Inka Fakule, thank you very much for coordinating this program. And I really want to use this opportunity also to appreciate the sponsors. They are wonderful people, understanding the needs of the day. Do not allow, I wouldn't forget to mention the fact that I have some very, very nice scientists that had actually brought me up at IITA there. I will ever remain grateful to Dr. Victor Mayong, who was my co-supervisor for the PhD program, and also my good friend who is DDG Partnership, Dr. Tairu. I've been with, we're already families in this guy, and I've been with IITA for over 30 years. And I'm still very grateful that we have this contact, and it's part of the digital networks that we are trying to create. So I really want to appreciate you all. I want to wish us all the best and congratulate all participants for having this great opportunity. Once again, thank you very much and have a nice and successful deliberation.
Thank you very much, sir. It's wonderful. Indeed, it is a deliberate action, and it takes us all putting our hands together to ensure that cybersecurity is a done deal for us in our nation, in our institution, in any part of the world where we are. Please join me in welcoming to give the next goodwill message, Professor Eboluwa Uduwole, the Vice Chancellor of the Ajayi-Crowther University. You're welcome. Vice Chancellor, Ajayi-Crowther University.
Trying to unmute. Okay. The host is not allowing me.
You're muted, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. I want to say good morning to everyone and to say that we are highly privileged to be here on this training on cybersecurity Nigerian project that is organized by IITA. I want to say kudos to IITA for all that you are doing for all the nations that are involved in IITA, particularly Nigeria, and for this laudable program, this laudable project. We need cybersecurity at this time, and we need a training. We have about 40 of our staff on this training, and I know that the training is going to provide hands-on experience to us, including myself. I want to assure you that I'll be here throughout the weeks that we'll be having this training. And I want to urge all participants to pay close attention. Please don't let us pretend as if we know too much. It's always good to interact with others, and it's always good to add to knowledge. And I want to thank IITA, the organizers, and all our resource persons that will be having for their efforts, for being selfless, and for not keeping the knowledge that you have to yourself. I want to thank you for your dedication to academic excellence. On this note, I wish you all fruitful and successful deliberations from Ajayi-Crowther University, where we raise godly intellectuals. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Miss. For one applause. Thank you, VC. Thank you. We're grateful for your kind words and indeed those words of wisdom. Nobody's coming here knowing everything. We are all learners and we are here to learn. Thank you very much. And now we're going to invite Professor Egese who is going to talk to give us a goodwill message. Professor Agesi from the Nigerian Fruit Crop Research Institute. You're welcome to give your goodwill remarks. You'll be unmuted shortly. Yes, we say that very soon. Yes,
Okay.
you can go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having us here. I am going to avoid the protocols that have already been established. I hope you're hearing me, please.
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, so thank you so much, IITA, for inviting us to this very remarkable and memorable workshop on securing Nigeria. I think it is very as important as that. So, CyberSecure Nigeria is a very secure Nigeria. So, on behalf of the management and staff of the National Root Crops Research Institute, Udike, I convey our sincere appreciation to IITA and other partners for inviting NRCRI to participate in this very important project, the CyberSecure Nigeria project, and for having me in this onboarding session. So, as others have already commended IITA, we join to say that this is very timely and strategic initiative aimed at strengthening cybersecurity awareness, digital resilience, and institutional preparedness, like Hilda was saying, across Nigeria's research and development ecosystem. So, in an era where digital technologies are increasingly driving research, driving innovation or communication, and even organizational operations, safeguarding information systems and institutional data has become not only necessary but very indispensable. So NRCRI recognizes that cyber threats pose significant risks to our research integrity, especially for Nigeria, data management systems, reputation, and operational continuity. So this capacity building effort is highly relevant to Nigeria, to our institutions, as we continue to modernize our systems and deepen our engagement with digital platforms in agricultural research and administration. So, as NRCRI staff participate in this onboarding exercise, I personally look forward to three major outcomes. Firstly, I expect enhanced awareness and practical understanding of cybersecurity principles, safe digital practices, and the emerging cyber risks among the people that are participating. Secondly, I anticipate a strengthened institutional capacity to protect sensitive data, communication systems, digital infrastructure from vulnerabilities and attacks. Lastly, I hope that this initiative will foster a culture of cyber responsibility or cyber vigilance or compliance within our workforce, thereby contributing to a safer and more resilient national digital ecosystem. This can be achieved through effective partnerships like is happening here today. So I believe that building a cyber-secure Nigeria requires strong collaboration among institutions, continuous learning, and proactive investment in digital safety culture. NRCRI remains committed to supporting initiatives that promote secure, innovative, and technology-driven agricultural research systems for national development. So once again, I want to thank you, IITA. Thank you, Dr. Yinka Fakunle, and your team for this opportunity and for this continued leadership in capacity development and institutional strengthening, not only in Nigeria, but in Africa. We wish you all I want to wish all the participants a productive and a impactful engagement. Finally, I want to also follow the lead of the VC of OAU, Professor Bamire, to say IIT has been a home for more than 30 years for me. Master's degree, PhD degree, and mentors, supervisors, and partners have been. It's become a family. So I am very appreciative of this that is still being extended to us as we lead other organizations. So God bless IITA, God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and God bless us all. Thank you, and bye.
Thank you very much, and a big amen to the prayers. Thank you so much, Professor Agesi. And we welcome all our sons and daughters back Thank you for acknowledging that IITA indeed is a great route for you. And now I'm going to invite, and please join me with wonderful Ian Ankla to welcome the Vice Chancellor of Afe Babalola University at Adoike, Professor Elizabeth Olarinde. Please, over to you, Ma, to give us your good news.
Thank you so much. A very good morning to everybody, and a big thank you to the Director General IITA and his dynamic team, Dr. Yinka Fakulet, Tolubolaji, and our beautiful amiable Olumodupe Banwo, who told us to keep on smiling. We are highly appreciated. But for you, I'm sure this will have not been possible. It gives me immense pleasure to be here today at the onboarding section of the Cybersecurity Nigeria project. And on behalf of our founder and chancellor, Are Afe Emmanuel Babalola, who has many decades of relationship and partnership with IITA, and indeed, on behalf of the entire Afe Babalola University community, I express our sincere appreciation to the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture for extending this valuable opportunity to our institution as well. Your commitment to promoting safer digital environment through capacity development, institutional collaboration, and knowledge sharing is both commendable and visionary. We thank you. At Afe Babalola University, we recognize that cybersecurity is no longer an optional conversation. However, it's now a fundamental component of institutional governance, operational efficiency, academic integrity, and most importantly, national development. Protecting institutional data and digital infrastructure has become a collective responsibility, requiring awareness, competence, collaboration, and proactive leadership. What do we do here today? This is why we strongly believe that the Cybersecurity Nigeria project is not merely a training program, but is a strategic investment in our future. The initiative focus on cybersecurity training, data protection, cyber resilience frameworks, institutional assessment, and stakeholders' engagement is highly commendable and aligns with our own vision and our own mission as well. IITA Award collaboration, I am particularly delighted that this initiative emphasizes institutional collaboration, inclusive participation, capacity building, and long-term sustainability. All these are critical elements, and if we must truly build resilience, institutions capable of navigating today's very rapidly evolving digital landscape, we must take this training very seriously. Let me assure our partners that ABUAD is fully committed to supporting the objectives of this project. We are prepared to contribute meaningfully through active participation, institutional engagement, and the implementation of best practices that will strengthen our cybersecurity posture and protect the integrity of our digital assets. I believe strongly that the knowledge, skills, and frameworks that will emerge from this collaboration will not only benefit our respective institutions, but will also contribute significantly to strengthening Nigeria's broader educational and research environment. On this note, once again, I sincerely thank IITA, NetHub, and every stakeholder involved in making today's initiative possible. I commend your foresight, dedication, and commitment to building a safer and more resilient digital future for our country and for the world. It is my hope that this onboarding session will mark the beginning of impactful collaborations, innovative solutions, and sustainable progress in cybersecurity awareness and institutional resilience across Nigeria. Thank you and God bless us all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. That was a wonderful one, and we really indeed appreciate what's your kind words and letting us or reminding us that indeed it is a collective responsibility and we have to be proactive. And the investment, as we all have said, it's important. We will invest our time, we will invest our energy, we will invest our commitment to learn. And so thank you so much for reminding us of that. And now I would like to invite to give the last, but definitely not the least, goodwill message. And this will be given by the Vice Chancellor of the University of Ibadan. So let me invite, yes, Mr. Austin, who would represent the Vice Chancellor, Professor Ayode Dibowale. Over to you, Mr. Austin, or Dr. Austin, or Professor Austin.
Good morning, distinguished participants, esteemed facilitators, partners, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. It's Austin Onyekpelu, personal assistant to the Vice Chancellor, Professor Kayode Oyebode Adebowale, at this important occasion. The Vice Chancellor is unavoidably engaged at another official meeting within the university and has asked me to convey his goodwill message to this distinguished gathering. With your permission, I will now respectfully deliver his goodwill message. It is my distinct honor and privilege to send this goodwill message on this official onboarding section of the CyberSecure Nigerian project on behalf of the Senate, staff, and students of the University of Ibadan, the nation's premier university. I express our deep appreciation to the project initiators for this timely and strategic intervention. We gathered at a critical junction in our national development as Nigeria accelerates its digital transformation across governance, finance, education, and commerce. The parallel threats of cyber insecurity has grown exponentially, from data breaches and ransomware attacks to disinformation campaigns and identity theft. No sector is immune. The CyberSecure Nigerian project therefore arrives not as a luxury, but as a national necessity. I have studied the blueprints of this initiative, and I am encouraged by its clarity of purpose. The objectives: building a robust cyber resilience framework, developing local capacity for threat detection and response, fostering cross-sectional collaboration, and raising public awareness are both ambitious and achievable. The expected outcomes would be a measurable reduction in successful cyber attacks on critical infrastructure, a pipeline of certified young professionals in cybersecurity, and a national culture of cyber hygiene are outcomes that would directly support Nigeria's digital economy agenda. The multi-stakeholder model you have adopted, bringing together government regulators, private sector operators, academia, civil society, and international partners, is the only viable path forward. Cybersecurity cannot be siloed. It requires continuous intelligence, joint incident response, and trust across boundaries. I am particularly pleased to note the role carved out for academic institutions in this implementation structure. Universities are not just consumers of secure digital environment. We are producers of knowledge, innovators of solutions, and trainers of the next generation of cyber defenders. Let me state that the University of Ibadan accepts this invitation to participate fully in this program. We bring this project considerable assets. First, our Department of Data and Information Science, which manages one of the largest campus networks in West Africa and indeed the African continent. Second, our Faculty of Computing and Department of electrical and electrical engineering, with its faculty specializing in cryptography, network security, and artificial intelligence. Third, our faculty of law, examining the evolving cybercrime legal framework. And most importantly, our students, bright, digitally native, and eager to be trained as ethical hackers, security analysts, and cyber policy experts. We shall very shortly constitute a University of Ibadan CyberSecure Implementation Committee. This committee will liaise with the National Project Secretariat to identify specific roles, curriculum integration, research collaboration, student internship placement, and community extension services. To all participants being onboarded today, especially our own faculty and students, I offer these three brief counsels. First, approach with urgency. Cyber threats evolve daily. Treat every module, every exercise, every interaction as time sensitive. Two, think beyond your discipline. Cybersecurity is not just IT, it is policy, psychology, law, risk management, and ethics. Engage across faculties. Third, commit to transfer. What you learn must not end with you. Train others, secure your department, mentor younger students, be multipliers of secure security culture. I could imagine a Nigeria where a student in Ibadan can conduct research without fear of identity theft, where a small business in Lagos can process payment without losing customer data, where government servers in Abuja withstand foreign intrusion. That is a Nigeria the cybersecurity project is building. And the University of Ibadan, true to its motto, to think straight is the fountain of knowledge, will be at the very heart of that construction. In conclusion, let me thank the project sponsors, technical partners, once more for their vision. To the onboarding facilitators, we are ready to learn. So, my colleagues at UI, let us make this a signature contribution to national security. I wish us all very productive deliberations. Thank you, Professor Kaudi Oyebode Adeboale, Vice Chancellor, University of Ibadan. That is a good message from the Chancellor. On his behalf, I wish you all a most productive and enriching onboarding section. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Austin, for conveying the goodwill message of the Vice Chancellor of the University of Ibadan, Professor Kayode Adebowale. Indeed, we have our marching orders. We must work with urgency. We must think systems, not just my discipline or just my corner. No, we go beyond that. And we must work as a strong team. You remember this proverb that says, if you want to go fast, you go alone. You want to go far, you go together. Indeed, we want to go far, so we will go together. And now, thank you everyone for listening to all the Google messages. And now hand over to my co-moderator, to Lulope Orange.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. I mean, it's been so insightful this morning. From Google messages to everything that we've done so far. Before we move into the next and final, segment of the program, I want us to, do this poll very fast. We all know what has brought us together, which is cybersecurity. That's the main, that's the discussion for this project. So I want us to quickly. It's a form of icebreaker. It's not a quiz, it's not a test, so please don't take it too seriously. Have you ever experienced any of the following? All right, so you should see the poll on your screen right now. So have you ever experienced any of the following incidents? First, my computer has been virus affected before. Second, my WhatsApp or Facebook was hacked. If you've ever experienced that, I know someone who was impersonated online. That's another one incident. I have had a ransomware experience. So it could be you, it could be an institution that you know, probably your institution. And then lastly, if you have ever had a password leak, somebody knew your password and was able to use it for something So let's keep it coming. I see the responses. Thank you. 40% of participants have responded so far. Currently, my computer was infested. Takes the lead. I would understand that. It's everywhere. It's everywhere, from flash drives to mobile or portable hard drives and all of that. You can get your system infested with a virus. Now let's keep it coming. I have just about very few seconds for that, and then I'll share the poll result. This is just to let us know that it's everybody's business. Everybody's one way or another affected by the issue of cybersecurity. It is not an IT thing, like one of the good messages said. It's not just an IT thing now. It's an organizational thing. It's everybody's business. It's everybody's business right now. All right. I'll be sharing the poll. We have about 60% of participants responded already. Okay. All right. Yeah. My computer was virus infested. Takes the lead. Then followed by, I know someone who was impersonated online. That's a lot too. You see people wanting to scam other people once they get a hold of their accounts on whatever platform. Then the third one is my WhatsApp or Facebook was hacked. It's quite common, an incident too. All right, thank you for this. All right, so in just one word, I want you to describe how the experience felt. Let's take 30 seconds to do that. In the chat room, just go there. In one word, describe how that experience. Your computer was virus infested. Your Facebook or WhatsApp was hacked. That can be very, very serious. All right. In just one word, describe how it felt. What it felt like to have that happen. I know someone who was impersonated online. How did you feel? In one word. Devastating. I see annoying. I see terrible. Yeah, panic. Yes, especially the hack one. Yeah, or even the virus one. You have something to deliver in the next hour. And then you notice that it's already corrupting. Yeah, sad, annoying. I mean, just wait in the chat room. It's just wait in the chat room. Yeah, destabilizing. Yes, frustrating. Damaging. Yes. I notice all of these words. I wish we could do a word cloud. You put all of these words together, and then you feel, how people actually feel when these things happen. Okay, so it's good that we're all here, and it's good that this program is going to address all of these things, and we're going to come out better people, more enlightened and more empowered to guard against all of these incidents, subsequently. Okay, yeah, I can keep it coming. I'll be stopping the sharing of the poll result right now, and then shortly we'll be moving into the next item on the agenda. I'll hand over to Mokupe to invite the. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tomilope. Indeed, that experience can be depressing, and I can see a lot of people who have expressed their fear. So we know that this program or this project is timely, and it calls for everyone's investment of time, of energy, of purpose. So now, to give us an overview of what this training program is all about, what is next IITA CyberSecure Nigeria project? What is it all about? Let me invite once again the project coordinator, Mr. Yinka Fakule, to give us this overview. You're welcome, sir.
All right, thank you again. And let me say once again, distinguished guests, colleagues, partner institutions, and of course, let me use the word now, champions of digital resilience. I want to say good morning once again, for those of us that joined late, and still want to say thank you all for still being here. I'm going to start with a question, and it's not actually a rhetorical one. It's actually a real one. So think about it as I just asked it. All right. So, and the question is, when last was the last time your institution backed up its most critical data? Okay. Not your personal files, not your email. I'm talking about the research output. Okay. Those, beneficiary records, the institutional data your organization has spent years, if not decades, generating. So, I mean, the kind of data that if it disappeared tomorrow could set your work back by years. I just want to I want every one of us to take a moment and think about how important that actually is. So, here's the truth. Okay. I mean, we don't always say this out loud. Nigeria and other African institutions, whether all the universities or research institutes, are increasingly getting digital. We use digital system for almost all day-to-day operations. We store research data in the cloud. We process beneficiary and staff information. Sometimes we communicate even sensitive findings across open network when we share information, for example. Our institutions are, whether we like it or not, increasingly dependent on digital infrastructure. But here is what the number tells us, okay? Across all these sectors, whether education or universities research, the defensives have not kept pace with the exposure. So what that means is that even though there is increase in reliance to digital system and we are getting more exposed, we are not taking note of the fact that we need to also increase in terms of our defensive mechanism. So in a baseline assessment that we conducted preliminarily at the start of this project, we found a pattern that was, kind of sobering, but not surprising anyway. Many institutions had no formal incident response plan, meaning that if a cyber attack hit tomorrow, there was not much of a written procedure for who to call. Like who calls whom, who do you call, who gets what shut down, and how can recovery start, begins. For example, multi-factor authentication, again, one of the simplest, most effective protections available. It's still not widely used, okay? Many of the basics, but critical measures still seems to be missing. Now, this is not like, it's not like a criticism of our current situation. It's actually a mirror. And what this mirror reflects is a sector that has been asked to run faster and faster in terms of digital direction without being given the shoes to do it safely. And that is what CyberSecure Nigeria is about, giving our institution those shoes that are required. And so the most burning question then will be, what is CyberSecure Nigeria? CyberSecure Nigeria is a capacity building initiative that is implemented by the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, IITA, in strategic partnership with NetHope, one of the foremost global networks connecting humanitarian and development organization with best-in-class technology expertise. Okay, so our goal is very clear, and that is to enhance cyber security and data protection across Nigeria and other African educational and research institutions, to build the human skills, institutional frameworks, and the practical tools that actually turn digital vulnerability into advantage digital strength. So this is not a project that just delivers training, hands out certificates, and then disappears. No. We're actually building something that lasts beyond those projects, something that lives inside your institution, something you and your teams can hone, irrespective of your discipline within your institution. So, whether you are a lecturer, a scientist, an administrative personnel, a security officer, for example, a researcher, an accountant, admin or HR personnel, or whatever category or level of staff that you are, even if you're a student. And so far, the response we've been getting has already told us something powerful. At the initial stage, we actually set out to engage only 12 partner institutions. But by the end of our first quarter, 18 had already signed on. 18 universities and research institutions across Nigeria and Africa raised their hands and said, we are ready. And I could see that also evident in a lot of the good will messages that we got from the VCs of the school. I mean, that is not just a statistics. That is a signal. And our objective and expected outcomes are as clear and deliberate as possible, which is one, to build the human capacity in cybersecurity and data protection across partner institutions, like I mentioned earlier, training practitioners who can identify threats, respond to incidents, and champion digital hygiene from the inside core of the institution. Another is to strengthen the institutional systems, helping organizations put in place the right policies, the right procedures, and the framework that makes security a function of culture and not just technology. And again, is to promote compliance with Nigeria or other Africans evolving data protection regulatory landscape. In Nigeria, it is the NDP, the Nigerian Data Protection Act. And finally, is to build a connected community of practice so that institutions are not just navigating these challenges in isolation, but learning from and reinforcing one another. So, how does the training program works? All right. So, let me explain to you the architecture of what we are building together. The CyberSecure Nigerian training program is structured across 3 interconnected pillars. The first pillar is the awareness and foundation. So this is where we begin. All right. We meet institutions where they are, not where we assume they should be. Okay. The pillar covers the essentials, understanding the threat landscape, recognizing phishing and social engineering, safe data handling, and the basics of Nigerians' regulatory environment, particularly in the case of Nigeria, the Nigerian Data Protection Act, like I mentioned earlier. So we train not just IT staffs, but the administrators, the researchers, building those culture, the data handlers, who are in practice the first and the most frequent line of contact with sensitive data. As a lot of people have mentioned earlier, and I'm happy to hear that cybersecurity is not an IT problem. It is an organizational behavioral problem. Okay? And that is why this training reaches beyond the server room or data center. And the second pillar, again, onto which this program is built, is the technical capacity and institutional framework. This is where we go a little bit deeper. Okay, we equipped on information security and structured skills, incident response planning, network security fundamentals, vulnerability assessment, and the data protection compliance. Alongside the human skills, the culture that is required and also supporting institutions in putting in place those policies, those procedures, the governance structures that will make security a function of how your organization operates, not just reacting in times of crisis. Because we believe that an institution with a well-trained IT team, but lacking incident response policy, is just, I would liken it to like an hospital with skilled doctors but no emergency protocol. So skills and system must work hand in hand. They need to work together. And lastly, the third pillar, it's building the cyber security champions network. This is the piece I am most excited about because this is what gives the project its what I call it shelf life. In every partner institution, we're going to be identifying and developing cyber security champions, staff members who will carry the knowledge forward, advocate for security internally, and serve as connector in a living national network of practice, if I can put it that way. So this champion will not just attend training, they will become the institutional conscience on cyber security. The person that the run-to person for colleagues to turn to, okay? The voice that raises concern in leadership meetings. The human firewall that, no technology products will be able to replace. So when this project concludes, those champions remains. And then the network also remains. And we believe that the capacity that have been built also remain. And that is how we intend to achieve sustainability. That is what we mean when we say that this is not just a project. It's gonna be a movement. All right. So having said those words, if you can permit me at this stage to share my screen and walk you through a few things. As many of us who have already registered on the link sent along with the onboarding email. The onboarding email we had sent out, okay? As many of us that have received that email and has already registered. At the end of this meeting or later today, you're going to be receiving two separate emails, okay? One of the emails is going to look something like what I'm about to share now. All right. If you're able to see my screen, one of the emails is going to look like this, which is where you will be able to access. It's telling you that your account has been created, and you need to access your account and do a password change immediately. So all you need to do is just click on this, set up your password. I'm going to do that and show us. All you need to do is just click on this or copy it and paste it on the browser to reset your password. So again, I'm going to be moving away, and then share the next one. So once you copy that and paste that link, then that should take you here. So that's, like I mentioned, the first email will be for your password change. And then you would have something like this where you need to change your password. Okay. So like I just did that now, and that already takes you to be able to access the training. You recall that I mentioned also that you're actually going to receive two mails. The second email is immediately after you've changed your password, which I have done now. You could from here click on this to access the training, or you could as well also access the training using the second email. Let me show you what the second email is going to look like. The second email is going to look like this, telling you that you are now enrolled in a new course, which is the CyberSecure Nigeria Institutional Data Protection and Cyber Resilience Framework within your organization. You could also click on Start Your Course from here, or you could continue from the page that I showed earlier where you had changed your password. All right, so I'm going to go back to the browser now. So I'll be sharing my system back and going back to the browser. Okay, so you will be on this page that I am currently, and like I said, you can either use the link from the second email, or you could just continue once you change your password. So with this now, you now have full access to the course, the CyberSecure Nigeria Institutional Data Protection and Cyber Resilience Framework within your organization. So scrolling down the page, you can read through about the course, the learning outcomes, and if you go further down, you would see all the modules from module 1 to 7. So let me mention that each module will become only active after the completion of each post-module webinar seminar. That might seem a bit small to digest. So what does that mean? You would recall that we had sent the program handbook to you, and in the program handbook there is a program calendar. Inside that, you will see some of the things that I'm talking about. So, for example, after this onboarding session we are on now, Module 1 becomes active for us all to access. And this will remain so, and then it's going to followed by a 2 to 3 days post-module live webinar on Module 1. And we're going to use that same format because the same format is going to apply to all the other modules until completion. So it means that the 2 to 3 days post-module live webinar series will be done fortnightly. And after which, the next module will be open immediately. Like I said, after this meeting this morning, Module 1, Cyber Hygiene, becomes active. And then, according to the program calendar that was sent to us, there will be a 2 to 3 days post-module live webinar series where we'll have a live webinar and we will do a post-module of the same module that was open to us. After we complete that, Module 2 also becomes active. And that is also going to followed by a 2 to 3 days post-module live webinar series where we'll be able to interact. Now, each module has several sections, okay, on various topics. And there is also the part where you have the pre-quiz preceding every section to access our initial knowledge. And that's going to be also followed by a post-quiz to access how our new understanding and knowledge of the topic now looks. And there's the same formats that we're going to use throughout all the sections in the 7 different modules. Okay, I want to mention that. All right, so to access this, all you need to do is just click on it, and there you go. Okay, so let me also mention that on completion of the CyberSecure Nigeria Institutional Data Protection and Cyber Resilience Framework, you would receive a completion email with a certificate or a certification. Let me see if I can also share that. I might share that with you, or I might share that with you before the end of this, just to give you an overview of how some of these things look like. But at this point, I would like to speak a little bit plainly. Okay, um, training program succeed or fail based on one thing above every other thing, and that is commitment. The best curriculum in the world cannot protect an institution where commitment is actually missing, or in case where leadership, for example, does not even create a space for change, where sometimes staffs are pulled out from training or from meetings. And that's one of the reasons why we have made this training program as flexible as possible, so that it wouldn't necessarily choke into your day-to-day operations or day-to-day activities. So here is what we ask. We ask that you and your institution treat this program not as any other compliance exercise, for example, but as a strategic investment. We ask that you create the conditions for you and your champions to thrive. Okay? Give yourself and them the time, the visibility, and the organizational backings to do their work. We ask that you approach every training session, every assessment, and every toolkit module with the seriousness that it deserves. Because the data at stake is not abstract. It is actually your research, your beneficiaries' information, your staff information, your institution's reputation, and overall your nation's intellectual heritage. Because of time, let me just close and I begin to zoom out. All right. Um, Nigeria, along with the other countries in Africa, is known as the home to some of the world's finest research minds. I mean, from generating agricultural data, health data, policy research, scientific output, and a lot of things. Okay. And we do all this not just to Africa, but even to the rest of the world. So that knowledge is actually worth protecting. And when we build a model here in Nigeria and other African countries through this project that works, it does not stop here. It travels. It gets replicated even across the network membership, which is across Africa. It becomes the blueprint that other nations point to, and they can say, this is how we do it. So CyberSecure Nigeria is not just about the 18 institutions. It is about demonstrating what is possible when the right partners, the right resources, and the right commitments come together. We're turning vulnerability into an advantage, into strength. We're turning isolation into community of practice, of best practices. We are turning good intention into tested, proven practices. So the question is no longer whether Nigeria and other African countries, institutions can be cyber resilient. The question is, how quickly can we get there together? I want to leave us with our thoughts. Thank you very much for listening to me and for walking you through the experience for the LMS. Over to you now, moderator. We can't hear you if you're talking.
Oh, sorry. Okay, can you hear me now?
Good.
Yes,
All right.
yes.
For that. Thank you so much, Mr. Fakunle. That was important for us to know, to remember that a system works when the people, the policies, and the processes are put in place. So this, we are reminded that this is a collaborative thing. It is important that we choose to be strategic investors, every one of us, so that these projects and our institutions are kept safe and the project succeeds. So now, Mr. Fakunle has taken us what to expect. I'm just going to add a bit to that. There's you must all have received, participants, the student handbook or the learner's handbook. So that is important for you to go through because it shows you what is expected from you, your responsibilities. And it also guides. We have also put in the chat the email to send questions or your concerns to, that's contact email for this project. See it in the chat. Let us take note of that. And now, because of our time, we request that I'll ask Mr. Banjo now to respond to questions. I know he has been responding to some of them in the chat. Now he will respond to some here. Okay, Mr. Sir hasn't received an open, receive it. Okay, thank you. Over to you, Mr. Banjo.
Okay, thank you so much. So, a few questions there. Someone was asking for the URL. I guess that's for the training. That also will be shared at the end of this. Yeah. Also, someone was also asked that someone also requested for the official email of the project. That also has been shared also in the chat where we have it. Also, very soon we'll also be sharing the communication line, WhatsApp communication line for DEEP also. The chat provided here. These are the few questions. Every other questions we have also been. Okay, someone was asking earlier why Dr. Fakunle was talking that can we upload our passports? Can you please communicate that via email to us so that we can understand what exactly are you saying? Is it passports on the e-learning platform, on the platform, or where is that?
I think if I understand what the person is asking, it will definitely mean uploading your passport on the LMS,
Okay.
personalizing your profile, and that is actually possible.
Okay, that question has been answered. Thank you so much. Over to you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so thank you. And for those who haven't received the handbook, you will as you get onboarded. So all this will be done today to ensure that everyone starts on the same page. And like Mr. Fakunle has said, expect that this program will run or this training will run till September. It's about 3 months. It's self-paced in a way. So it's flexible. You can run your modules within 2 weeks that we're given, then have the post module session webinar, which is live. You're encouraged to join. We'll have about 3 sessions of that, so you can pick anyone. You're encouraged to join so that your questions can be answered, clarifications can be made, you can engage, in a live forum. So it's not only just you have a computer engaging, which is what the modules run like. And like Mr. Fakunle said, there will be a pre and a post assessment. Pre is like a baseline, post shows us what has happened after your event. And it is important that we begin to transfer some knowledge of platform, forum to pass on this message to those in your organizations, colleagues, other people, so that learning is entrenched for you. It's important because okay, so learning is entrenched for you when you teach others what you have learned. It helps you, it stays with you more. So that will encourage you to do. And for institutions, we will continue to engage. It's important to look at your policies, look at your framework, look at processes. What can you improve based on the learning, the lessons you get from this training? And of course, like you said, it's collaborating. So what are information you have willing to also hear from? So I think I would stop for now and hand over to answer the questions and all that. So I will now. Is that still a question?
Yes, I think there's one question from Mr. Felix Chime Francis. He's asking, he said, are we notified of each post-module forum via email? Okay, yes, so for the post-module, there's a calendar that is already part of the handbook that has been shared. As much as possible, we're going to follow that calendar. But in any case, since we have the WhatsApp forum for which everybody is going to be onboarded on, as well as the email contact, as much as possible, we're going to ensure that communication is seamless and everybody is aware of every activity once it commences. So I can guarantee you that whether via email, via WhatsApp, we'll find a way, even possibly via text message, reach out to all the participants on all the activities. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Anako. And so with that, I would like to welcome again our project coordinator to close this onboarding session. We really appreciate everyone who has been here. Thank you for taking your time to be here. So from us, myself and Tolu Lope,
Yes.
we want to say thank you for allowing us host you. And now I hand over to the project coordinator to give us the closing remarks.
Thank you very much, colleagues. As I mentioned, I'm just as we're close, I'm not going to say much again. I think a lot has already been said, so I just wanted to show. This is just a sample of how, on completion of the training, you will get this certification emailed to you. This is just a sample of how it's going to look like. As I promised that I was going to show that. Okay, so with that, let me say thank you, everyone. And it's a journey that we've started today. It's a movement that we started today. We'll look forward to doing this together, participating on this together, enjoying this as we'll learn something new, and importantly, as we increase the cyber resilience of our institutions, of our educational institutions, our research institutions, our data, our information. And I want to say a big thank you to all the VCs in their busy schedule were able to join, the DDGs of IITA, IITA DJ Dr. Simeon Hiwi, who was ably represented by Ibno. I want to say a big thank you to colleagues, to partners, and we say thank you, everyone. And we wish everyone well. And it's the start of a new week. Enjoy your week. And please look forward to the email that we'll send you before the close of today on onboarding. And then you'll be able to now be able to access the training. Thank you once again and stay blessed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye, everyone. Enjoy your day.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.